this is going to be so boss. Hey guys, welcome to the video. Today we are doing the NWOpening unboxing of the DC Multiverse McFarlane Toys Deathstorm action figure from the Blackest Night wave. We are continuing on with the Blackest Night saga on DSW Network. Well overdue finishing this, but with how busy I've been this month, I'm not remotely surprised. I wanted this finished. I wanted this to go on no longer than November. It's now a week before Christmas, so we are, we're gonna crack on with this and hopefully make it not too long, because the NW openings have been getting a bit longer recently. Although the Black Lantern Batman one was nice and short. So we are carrying on with the Atrocitus Build-A-Figure wave. We just need to get his head now, and if you want to watch the other parts, then they will all be available in the end screen in the NW Openings playlist, and one of them will be recommended in the end screen as well. So now we just need to get his head and his shoulder piece thing. So that brings us to easily my favorite figure in the wave. I said in the previous videos that I am not keeping the Kyle Rayner. That's going to a friend. The Batman and Superman I like, but I'm not a massive fan of them. I prefer the kind of less main characters as my Black Lanterns. And I love Firestorm anyway. I love Deathstorm. His whole story is really just horrible. It's a horrific story. But that's what you want in a storyline like this. You want just absolutely unequivocal, like, surprise in what you are reading. And the figure itself, I think, is way more interesting than the Batman and the Superman. As I mentioned in those unboxing videos, we kind of had to wait for the figures to come out for those figures to look good. On the original renders, they did not have a lot of detail on them, and they did not look super good. But Firestorm, on the other hand, obviously a bit more of a kind of fantasy look with the skull face and everything. And as you can see there, this is incredibly gnarly. This looks so good. The detail on that thing is incredible. We'll get into that a little bit more later. Of course, we've got the flames on his head, which look really good as well. And we've, of course, got the Firestorm Network logo with the Black Lantern logo mixed in. Beautiful. He even comes with a lantern, which is just a really nice touch as well. And what is also nice is that he has a hand that can actually hold it. That's always nice. Of course, that's not something we've necessarily seen too much of in this series so far. And of course, finally, we have the Atrocitus Build-A-Figure pieces. I mentioned before how I came across finding out that this set was coming out. The fact that my friend was talking about wanting an Atrocitus figure. In the same conversation, I was looking up some Black Lantern figures, and the Firestorm was really expensive on eBay, so I looked it up. I Googled it to see if there was anyone that had it on like an independent toy site or anything, and to my surprise, I came across this, the preview of this, and then this has been sat in my house waiting to be unboxed for 2 years. Can you believe I've had something that looks as cool as this figure in my house for 2 years without opening it? Unbelievable. So it is time that we finally get into this. So without any further ado, let's cut him open. So we can see on the back the rest of the wave, which we've already unboxed. Again, you can check that out in the end screen or in my channel, in the NW Openings playlist, anywhere like that. We've got piece number 2 here, which is his head. How is that the second piece you need in a Build-A-Figure? I have no idea. And of course, we've got Deathstorm on the side and Deathstorm Blackest Night on that side as well. I honestly can't remember whether he refers to himself as Deathstorm during the Blackest Night, or whether he is just Black Lantern Firestorm in Blackest Night, and then in Brightest Day, when he comes back, he refers to himself as Deathstorm. I know it's also the Earth 2 version of him, like the Crime Syndicate. Firestorm is also called Deathstorm, so I think they probably took inspiration from that and thought, yeah, we can't really get away with having an undead version of this guy and not calling him Deathstorm. Got ourselves the usual backing card. Again, I'm not going to bother going into the bits that are on the backing card. This is just a basic kind of bio card, etc. And then the base is incredibly flimsy. They're incredibly poor. We've got Atrocitus's face taped into the plastic there, so that's interesting. We've finally seen something on this series that isn't tagged in. Very impressive. The lantern, on the other hand, is indeed tagged in. So here we are, Deathstorm McFarlane Toys figure out of the box. And the initial impressions, well, it would have been hard for this figure to look any better out of the box, apart from having a slightly clearer view of it, because it looks so good in the box. This is just a beautiful action figure. There's no two ways about that. Like, we have this incredible skull detailing, which just looks really, really cool. This is probably as close to the depth of kind of decomposition and detail, etc., that was put on the DC Direct action figures. It looks really, really nice. The flames perhaps look better in person than on the camera, because you can't really see, but there is some kind of very faint light grey kind of highlighting to it. It's not just pure plastic. You can kind of see it, I guess, but it doesn't look like it's showing up all that well. My main critique is that we've got this rubber crotch piece again. I really just have come to hate this very, very quickly since I started opening these McFarlane action figures. Also, okay, that's a good thing that his waist has actually turned. But I mean, you look at the actual detailing here, the sort of the detailing of the damage on his outfit here, and you can just see how this is gonna come apart. You know, like, if you weren't convinced just looking at these action figures in general, then when you can actually see it with some intentional detailed damage on it, you can see what that damage is going to look like when these things start to break down. But yeah, at least the waist was actually movable since it wasn't facing forward. That's nice. We can also see that there's a little bit of plastic differentiation there from the torso to the chest. You can't really see that on the other action figures, but definitely right there on Deathstorm. He's got these shoulder pieces as well. He's got an open hand to hold the lantern, and he's got his claw hand. All the better for murdering your partner's girlfriend while he watches on from inside the firestorm matrix. He doesn't have a cape, which means we didn't have to carefully try and extract it from the packaging without breaking it like the others. Kind of weird that the back of his skull isn't fully covered, especially since they clearly haven't planned for what they were going to put there. Like, what are we going to do there? Oh, we'll just fill it in with some white paint, I guess. Like, what else are we going to do? Like, put some more flames on it? Like, just cover it up? Yeah, no, that's not going to happen. We'll just put some white paint on there. Other than that, you know, he's got the standard range of motion for the McFarlane Toys figures, although you're out of luck if you want him to do the double muscle pose, because his shoulder pads aren't a big fan of that. The joints seem more or less fine. That's pretty cool. The torso lean doesn't really work, as it doesn't really with others, although it seems like it turns a little bit further than the others do. And the waist joint, like I say, doesn't really move all that much, although thankfully moved enough to allow us to put it straight at least. Legs go out. We don't have a thigh cut, but we do have the full range of motion inside there anyway. We've got the double jointed knees, no boot cut, and then the foot with the toe swivel. And his boots actually are kind of like the same sort of material as the crotch by the looks of it. Look, you can see how it kind of pulses up, like how the shoe moves into it. That feels like it's going to give up after a while as well, so that's not ideal. But other than that, this is an incredibly nice looking action figure. And if you were just going to display this on your shelf, then this would be absolutely fine. There's just a few little build quality problems that I have, or not even necessarily build quality, but just like build decisions, like decisions on materials, on why they've picked these certain things. I'm sure Todd... I feel like I would trust Todd McFarlane to do this kind of stuff, and then he comes out with this kind of thing, and I'm yet to be proven wrong about this. Like, you know, I feel like, you know, if these stand the test of time and like 10 years later this thing is still intact, then, you know, blow me over backwards, I was wrong. But I would rather it was that way, because it looks like it's just going to flake off and disintegrate. So the accessories, of course, we do actually get one, at least one that is actually his. We got the Black Lantern, nice and silver. Not confusing. It's really cool that we got this. I kind of feel like they made Deathstorm purely to put this in and as an accessory. Maybe I'm reading too much into this. Just to carry the actual lantern, and to, you know, give them a reason to put it into the figure line. The pointy nails on his hand aren't making this any easier. This doesn't go in the hand super well. Takes a little bit of effort, but there we go. Again, he was kind of knocking around in brightest day as the kind of the last Black Lantern, carrying the lantern with him. He was quite important to the story, you know. He played quite an important role, and as figures go, as I say, this is easily my favorite in the series. And speaking of, it's so nice to finally could finally conclude this series having all 4 figures unboxed. That's really cool. And yeah, I don't really have anything more to say about him, so that just leads us to the tidy conclusion of finishing off our Atrocitus Build-A-Figure. Might have to sit Firestorm back a little bit further because he's not really going to fit on. His head's not going to fit on. You move over there, Deathstorm. So we've got, I didn't really mention this last time, but we've got these 2 little holes on his shoulder to kind of sit this on, which is nice. However, this thing's made of very soft rubber, so honestly, it doesn't exactly clip in or anything. And then finally we have the nice Atrocitus head. Focus would be good. Still would be good. Okay, you're going to have to do with that view. The Atrocitus head, looking so like some kind of Doom monster. And we're going to pop that on the top there. And hopefully that's going to just clip on as nicely as the other joints. Because in fairness to this Build-A-Figure, it has come, you know, it has gone together a lot nicer than like the Mattel Build-A-Figures that I'm used to. So I think that's more or less on. I don't think it's fully clipped in, but it's more or less on. So that's basically what the full Atrocitus Build-A-Figure looks like. And you can see the sheer size of it compared to a regular action figure. Overall review of the Atrocitus, it's really cool. I mean, as an Atrocitus figure goes, I don't really know what more you could want from it. It's probably my second favourite figure in the wave, if we're counting it as part of the wave, which we should, it's part of the wave. Yeah, actually easily my second favourite figure in the wave. I probably wouldn't have bought it separately, because obviously I want the Black Lanterns for the collection, but yeah, still really, really cool. So that brings us to the end of the video, and indeed the end of the wave, but not the end of the Blackest Night saga. I still have 2 more Black Lantern figures to unbox, and after that, there will probably be a Black Lantern Revisited series at some point when I track down the other ones. And not a moment too soon. As I say, I wanted these done by November. It's now a week before Christmas, and these figures in particular have been waiting to be unboxed for 2 years. And the full irony on that fact is the fact that it took 2 years for me to unbox these figures, but it took less than 2 weeks for me to ruin one of them. You can see that White Lantern Superman, and you can see the Black Lantern Superman has curry stains on his face and arm. That's a story I was planning on doing a video on. I don't know if I still will, because I've just been so swamped and so behind with content recently. But yeah, hopefully we will be able to get the last 2 Black Lantern figure unboxings done by the end of the year. But if not, hopefully we'll get them done relatively quick into the new year. But if you enjoyed this video, please do like, comment and subscribe. Check out the end screen for more. As I say, I'll probably put the Superman unboxing in the end screen because that came first, and I'll also put the playlist to all the NW openings. And I really do appreciate you guys joining me, so thank you all for watching, and goodbye.